In the bustling marketplace of old Damascus, there lived a young tailor named Karim. Unlike his peers, Karim was quiet and hesitant, his eyes often downcast. He possessed nimble fingers and a keen eye for detail, yet he doubted his own abilities. He'd often hear the boisterous calls of other merchants, their voices ringing with confidence, and he'd shrink further into his stall. One day, a wealthy merchant, known for his discerning taste, approached Karim. He held a magnificent piece of silk, shimmering with intricate patterns. "Young man," he said, his voice deep and resonant, "I need this silk transformed into a robe worthy of a caliph. Can you do it?" Karim's heart pounded. He'd never worked with such fine material, nor created such an elaborate garment. He stammered, I don't know, sir. It seems very difficult." The merchant smiled gently. "Difficulty is merely a test, young Karim. Allah subhanahu has gifted you with talent. Do you trust in that gift?" Karim looked at the silk, then at the merchant's kind eyes. He remembered a verse from the Quran, "And put your trust in Allah if you are believers." Quran 5:23. He took a deep breath. "I will try, sir. I will do my best." The merchant entrusted the silk to Karim and departed. Karim spent days and nights in his small workshop, his brow furrowed in concentration. He meticulously planned each stitch, each fold. Doubts crept in, whispering that he wasn't good enough, that he would ruin the precious fabric. But each time, he would remember the merchant's words and the Quranic verse, reminding himself that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given him this opportunity and that he needed to trust in his abilities. He prayed, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance and strength. He remembered the story of Prophet Moses, who, despite his initial hesitation, faced the Pharaoh with unwavering faith. He recalled Prophet Joseph, who even in the depths of a well and later in prison, maintained his trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and was rewarded with greatness. Finally, the robe was finished. It was a masterpiece, the silk flowing like liquid moonlight, the intricate patterns brought to life by Karim's skillful hands. When the merchant returned, his eyes widened in astonishment. "This is magnificent," he exclaimed. "It is truly a robe fit for a caliph." He paid Karim generously, and word of his skill spread throughout the marketplace. From that day on, Karim's posture changed. He stood taller, his voice firmer. He had learned that true confidence wasn't about loud boasting, but about trusting in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the gifts he had bestowed. He learned that believing in oneself while placing complete trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was the key to unlocking his potential. Karim understood that self-confidence in Islam isn't arrogance, but a humble acknowledgement of Allah's subhanahu wa ta'ala blessings and a commitment to using those blessings for good. It's about remembering that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Wakil, the trustee, the disposer of affairs, and that with his guidance, even the most daunting tasks can be accomplished. He understood that true confidence comes from trusting in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and striving with one's best effort, knowing that the outcome is in His hands.